Hello friends, my name is Shivrakash Singh and welcome back to our channel bi and datascience.com. In today's video, we are going to download Python. I'll show you two ways of installing Python, one from python.org. The other one will be from Anaconda Workbench, and I'll show you all the system settings regarding your environment and path variable so that you run Python programs without any error. Then we will write some sample Python programs. So stay till the end. This would be a fun programming session. As I told you, there are two ways how you can download Python. One is you can go to python.org, and this is official website for downloading Python. Here when you go on this website, you can see below in the download section, you see Python source code and installers available and download for all version. And the latest version is 3.13.2. So always I would recommend you go with the latest one. If you're using Mac, you can install this installer. And if you are using Windows, then you can install this file, and the installer will be in your download folder. You can go in your download folder, you can click this icon, and this is your Python 3.13 installer. Now friends, I'm not going to go and install Python from here because I'll install it using Anaconda. You must be wondering, if I can install Python from python.org and from Anaconda Workbench, then what's the difference? Difference is, if you are having a slower PC or PC with not big configurations, you should install Python from python.org because this is a very lightweight Python interpreter that will help you practice Python programs and run. However, when you install the Anaconda Workbench, it's a very heavy program, but the advantage is if you have a good configuration system, the good part is it comes already with all the preloaded libraries of Python. So it has all the important libraries like NumPy, Pandas, scikit-learn, TensorFlow, Keras. These are all the library that you use in machine learning and other advanced applications. So if you want to learn these libraries in future, and if you have a good system, a powerful system, I would recommend you install the Anaconda Workbench because it makes your life a lot easier. And in Anaconda, you also have a Conda package manager where you can configure all your environment variables and all the requirement files in an easy way. Go to Google and type here Anaconda. You can even type anaconda.com. You can go to free download here, and you can see when you go to anaconda.com, it asks you to provide an email to download the distribution and register. There are benefits of registering. I do have a registered account, but for this demo purpose, you can skip the registration. So if you click this link here, you can skip the registration. Now when I skip the registration, I will accept the cookies. You see you have all the Anaconda installer here. So I have 3.12 Python. So you remember when you went to python.org, you had the Python version 3.13. Python release, we had 3.13.2, and on Anaconda we have 3.12, which is good. I'm okay with 3.12. If you have a Mac, you can download the Mac version. On Linux systems, you can download the Linux version. I'm on Windows system, so I will go and I will download the 64-bit graphic installer. You can see I downloaded it last week for another demo class. I'm going to download it again. So if you go to your command line and if you type Python, if an interactive window opens, it means the Python is installed in your system. But right now you can see Python is not installed in my system. So after we download Anaconda, we set up all the environment variable, you'll be seeing when I type Python, I'll be able to go to the Python terminal and I can run Python programs there. So let's check the status, how it's doing. You can see in my download folder, this Python version is from the python.org 3.13.2. This is from the python.org. So this is the light version Python if you want to install. Now this Anaconda 3, this is my Anaconda Workbench installer. So I'll go install this. So friends, it does not matter which Python you use. It's all preference depending on your system's configuration. Once I click this, I get this window, welcome to Anaconda 24 10.1 version. Okay. It will ask you to agree to the conditions. I agree. it will be all users. I'll do all users, asking me a destination. See, this is why I said Anaconda is a big package. It does take 5.2 GB space. I do have 243 GB available, so it's not a problem. But in case if you have a lower RAM or if you have a lower hard disk and you are low on configurations, just installing Python from python.org is good enough. But I'll do this. Yeah, clear the package cache. Now you can see the files are getting extracted. Please wait while the Anaconda 3 is being installed. That's fine. While it's installing, let's talk about what are the benefits of using Anaconda Workbench. Now, one benefit I obviously told you, like it comes with all pre-packaged libraries, so you don't have to pip install all these packages like scikit-learn, TensorFlow, Keras, NumPy, Pandas, PyTorch, and you also get applications like Jupyter Notebook, Spider, PyCharm with the default installation. One more thing, friends, VS Code is not part of default Anaconda Workbench applications, but it integrates very seamlessly. First, we will install Anaconda and then we will install VS Code, and then I'll show you how easily it integrates, and we'll write all the Python in VS Code. I'll also show you can write in a Word or text file, you can run it on command prompt, but IDEs are much better. If you just watch my video step by step, follow along with me, do the hands-on exercise, you will not need any documentation or you will not need any other resource to learn Python. Whatever I guide you in these videos will be self-sufficient. Let's go back and check how is our Anaconda doing. So friends, now as you can see, the installation is complete. I do get the message the setup was completed successfully. I click next. Yeah, everything you love about Anaconda is now available. Love that. It asks me launch the navigator, getting started with Anaconda distribution. I'll say yes. So remember where your Anaconda is installed, because we will have to set that value in the path variable inside the environment variable. Path parameter for the environment variable. In my case, the Anaconda was installed in C program data. Inside program data, I have Anaconda 3 and my Conda file is installed here. So what I will do is I will take this location, I'll right click this, I'll copy this location. We need to go to settings, and once you are in system settings, you need to type here environment, edit environment variables. This is where I'm in the environment variables. I go to environment variable, then you select this path variable, and inside path variable just click edit. I need to go and create a new variable, and that new variable I just copied the address, I'll paste it here. So you remember, so this is, friends, this is the path where you install your Anaconda. Similar setting you'll have to do when you download the Python from python.org. You remember the folder where your Python is getting installed. You copy the address of that folder location and you come in your environment variable, and for the path parameter you just click here a new, you put that address as a new entry in the path variable, and now I'll click OK, and now it will remember the path. Hopefully now when I go and run Anaconda Navigator, it will open. Friends, uninstalling program and installing program to make videos for you does take time. So please go ahead, like and subscribe to the channel. It's all free, and that would be your contribution in motivating us making videos like this. So as you can see, after I have set the environment variable, my Anaconda Navigator is open. Now here you'll see I can download PyCharm It's a IDE for Python. But most of the time, because VS Code is more widely used and we will also be writing all the programs on VS Code, so I'm not going to install the PyCharm, but you can always go ahead and install, because I erased everything and this is a fresh installation of Anaconda Navigator. You see everything, it says install, 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 even the RStudio. But after setting that path in the environment variable, now this Python command should run here. Sometimes if editing the environment variable and the path parameter for the Conda or Python folder doesn't work, it's probably because of the priority in which the folders are chosen by the system. So to make it work, all what you have to do is you go to your system variable, you just click the edit the environment variable, and in the environment variable you go to, and then you just go and click edit, and you just move your Anaconda or your Python above the local app data local path, your user profile, and it will work. Now you can see the Python interpreter works. Even I'm not in the folder location where the Python is installed. Now your Python can run from any location. This prompt is called REPL. It stands for read, evaluate, print, and loop. Anything that you do here, for example, I want to print hello. So it prints hello. And then again it loops back. It's listening for all the commands that we can give it. If we just want to add two numbers, we can say 2 plus 2, 4, right? We can even divide, say we can say 7 divided by 8. We see we got the floating point number. So this is the command line interpreter of Python. So just by calling Python command, the interpreter invokes, and you will be in that read, evaluate, print loop, and we will be in this interpreter loop until type quit function. So either you can type quit or you can use Control Z. The other way to run Python is, you remember I told you you can write any command in any notepad. So for example, let's say we take a notepad here. On this notepad I can write any program. So I don't want to run my commands line by line in the interpreter window. So I want to write all my programs in a file, and then I want to submit this file and execute all the commands written in the file in one go. Even though the interpreter will read the commands line by line and it's going to execute line by line, let's write here a program. Let's take a variable x, and it's an integer, so we assign some value to x. Say we assign 50 to x, and then we take another variable y and we assign 25 to y, and then we create another variable z, and in z we say add the values stored in the location of x and y, and then we say print. Remember last time I told you about this f string. In the first part I talked about printing formatted string. So what we can do is we can use print, and we say it's a formatted string. How? We say sum of x. Now it will print the value of x. It won't print x, otherwise it would have printed x. And y is x plus y. Now I close my string here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this file. So I want to store this file in C, and I'm going to create a new folder, say Python ex. And I'm going to give a name for this file. I call it first program.py. File is inside the C Python exe. So I can change my directory to C Python ex, and now my file is located here. I can also see my file. You can see my file is here, firstprogram.py. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run that file. So I will just type Python followed by the file name. That would be firstprogram.py. Now you see it prints sum of 50 and 25 is 75. So you don't need a fancy IDE to run Python programs. You can write your programs in any text file. But the challenge is I have to remember the syntax and everything. There is no help about what I'm typing wrong or right, or like there is no autocomplete. It's very raw. Now what IDE do is they give a rich formatting on your code. So it can autocomplete the keywords, it will color code different keywords with different color. Just writing program in IDE becomes a lot more easier. So let's go ahead and download the VS Code. Type VS Code on Google and you'll go to the VS, and here I can say download for Windows. It will ask me to save the file here. VS Code user setup 64-bit. Yes, the downloading is started, and then I'll go back, and now you see this is the installer. I'll double click. My installer is installing. It asks me for the license agreement, same thing, accept. And always remember the path where things are installing. This is installing in my app.data local path. I would have installed it directly in programs, but that's fine. It's just installing for my profile. It's okay. I'll say create a desktop icon, so that's easy to open every time. Now VS Code is very light. So friends, if you have a low configuration machine, just install Python from python.org and install the VS Code. This is how the VS Code will open once you download. You have welcome here. So I can create a new file here. It will ask me what's the file type. I'll say, yeah, it's a Python file. I can write the same code here. So I'm not going to type again. I'll just copy paste from here, from the Word. You'll see the magic, what happens. As soon as I copy that code here, you see, it becomes nice and clean color formatted. So anything in blue color is my variable. Anything in the yellow color is my print. And see now if I put my cursor on print, it does tell me it's a function. It takes into values as an argument and it prints them. If I put /n, it will print on a new line. It is much more friendly to write code in IDEs because you get help in terms of if you are typing something wrong, the color will not change, or if you are using the keyword, it will autocomplete. So it's a lot of good features. The other good feature is I don't have to go and run it on the command prompt. I can run it here on the terminal as well. Now I do have to save this file, and now I'll save it in the same location. I'll save it on C, python_ex, but now I will give it the program 2 because I don't want to use the same program. I'll just make it _2. Now I can run that file. I can just say python c, no, python_ex / now you see the program, and I can change my path here so that I don't type the full file name every time. So I'll just change my path to this directory, c python_ex. So every time I can just say python followed by the file name. I don't have to print the whole path. So this is the second way to run. You can run on the terminal. And let's again go to one more time to environment variable and see there is a variable automatically added during the installation for VS Code. But in any case, if that variable is not added automatically and you get an error, this is how you have to fix it. Just like we fix it for Python, you can fix it for VS Code as well. So go here to settings, and in settings just go to the environment variable, and you can say edit the environment variables and path, and you do edit. Now you see this is already added, the VS Code programs VS Code /win. If this path is not automatically updated when you're installing, just remember the path where you have installed so that you can go and easily check if those folder locations are updated for the variable path in the environment variable setting. Hopefully you are able to install and run the programs without any error. If you still encounter errors, just type in comment what error you are encountering and we'll be able to help you. If everything is configured properly, you don't have to even run it on terminal. You can directly click this run button and the code will run. You see now, there is another way of running. So you have 3 different ways of running the same code. So friends, hopefully it helped. What we did was we installed Python using the Anaconda workbench. We did the setup of the environment variables to make sure we are able to run everything error free. Then we downloaded the VS Code. We also made sure the VS Code environment variable is also configured properly. Then we wrote a Python program using Notepad, but you saw how unfriendly it was writing a program in Notepad. So what we did was we are now going to write programs in VS Code so that it's more user friendly here. Now you have installed VS Code and Anaconda. If you now go to your Anaconda workbench, I'll quickly show you this. You'll see the VS Code is already, it will already appear on your Anaconda workbench because the VS Code and Anaconda are integrated. Friends, if you like this video, comment in section what was the best part you liked and what would be the new things that you would like us to make videos on. Until then, thank you for watching this video till end. Happy learning.